If they are not doing anything to stop you from doing what you are probably not doing anything worth fucking doing in regards to resistance, right? If the government or the people in power are not actively trying to quell the flames of your resistance, you are probably not in a resistance, right? If you are resisting in ways in which you are allowed to resist, at places and times you are allowed to resist at, you're not resisting, unless it is a threat of something greater to come, right? If you say, I'm going to yell at you, and then next week, I'm going to yell at you again, to the billionaires, right? To the oligarchs, to whoever, right? You say, I'm going to yell at you. And then next week, we're going to come back, we're going to yell at you with signs. And then next week, we're going to yell at you with bigger signs and louder. And we're going to yell, I'm going to yell, I'm going to yell. But then eventually, we're never going to do any violence because we're against that morally. And we're not going to do any economic violence because it's kind of inconvenient and hard to organize. So really, we're just going to yell at you forever. That's not scary to billionaires. They will go, great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now we can just continue business as usual. You have to threaten them in some way. You say, I am going to yell at you. And then next week, I will come with union organizers who will organize a mass strike and you will have no workers and now you will go out of business. That is scary, right? Or you say, or better yet, you say, we're going to yell at you. And then next week, if you don't listen to us, we're going to come back with a bunch of guys with guns and bombs. That is scary, right? Every billionaire has a head and every one of us could find a rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like there's so many. And we act like we live in this time of enlightened civility in which we can just, because we live in America, we can just like talk it out. No, you can't. No, you can't. Nothing has ever happened that way. Unless change has somehow come from the top, which is rare, and usually spurred on by some mass movement from the bottom. Change comes from mass movements from the bottom, okay? And that requires threats of violence, economic violence, physical violence, property violence, like all of that. You have to threaten that. And you have to be willing to do it. Like on a mass scale. That is how things change.